Our next project is removing Post Malone's tattoo. We're going to learn how to use the clone stamp tool and the paintbrush tools. I am going to open up Photoshop Elements. I'm going to go to File, I'm going to click Open, and then I'm going to find our digital design folder. And in that folder, we should have a copy of Post Malone. And I'm going to click Open. Then I'm going to go to this drop down menu and I'm going to find JPEG, click JPEG, and then I'm going to click Open. And then it should come up. So when we have Post Malone in Photoshop, we're going to zoom in on his face. You can zoom in with this magnifying glass right here, and the plus is to zoom in, and the minus is to zoom out. So we want to zoom in close to his face because we're going to remove his tattoos. Then we're going to locate the clone stamp tool, which is right here. I'm going to make the brush size a little bit bigger. Probably that big is good. And in order to use the clone stamp tool, we need to unlock the layer. And then we'll be able to use it. Well, in order to use the clone stamp tool, you have to, on your keyboard, click Option, click. You want to select an area where the skin is clean, not the tattoo. So to use the clone stamp tool, click Option, click on a clean area of the skin, and then drag it over and start clicking onto the tattoo. You don't want to drag, you don't want to drag like this, because it can get really choppy. So just click Option, click, and keep doing that, selecting new areas. Once it gets closer to the top of the hair, you could zoom in more and make your brush a little bit smaller probably, and then just click Option, click, and don't drag, just keep tapping it. If you drag it, it will get super choppy. Here you can see I'm going around, I'm clicking on it, removing all of his tattoos. I don't want to select or click Option, click for the clone stamp tool way over here because the skin over here was a lot lighter, so I want to reselect and fill it in closely. Reselect. You want to keep hitting reselect. And try and fill in the skin as best as you can. Now, another option you could do is click on the eyedropper tool. The eyedropper tool selects skin color or selects any area of color onto the screen. So if I select this brown here, you can see that my color swatch over here changed to brown. If I select the skin color, it changes the color swatch over here to the right color, where we could click on the color that we need and then go to the brush tool and kind of like paint it on. Now you want to make sure that your opacity, which is opacity means like it's very light or very harsh lines, you want to make sure your opacity is very light. And I'll show you why in a second. So if it's very light, you can see how I just made that line, but if it's very dark, 100%, it's very hard outlines, So you can kind of make your opacity very low and start painting it on to make the skin as clear as possible. And that's basically it. So you want to make sure that you're not dragging your clone stamp tool, you're clicking Option, click, and you just kind of tap it and tap it. And you can see my mode to my clone stamp tool is at normal. The size is about 20 and the opacity is at 100, but I could probably move the opacity down to about 44, and that would help make it look more realistic. After you remove Post Malone's tattoos, I still need to remove them on here. After you did them, what I want you to do is take the eraser tool and start erasing the background. Alright, so then after you erase the background, what I want you to do is take the paintbrush tool, select a color that you enjoy. I'm going to do like this maybe bluish color. There we go. And then I'm going to paint the background. You'll notice you'll have to fill in some spots, and I'll just probably keep on clicking until I fill in these. Whoop. If that happens and you need to undo something, you can click the undo here, or for short on the keyboard, you can click Command Z to undo something. if I need to remove this line here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brush tool, zoom in, change my size, and I can just make sure the opacity is at 100 so that you could see it good. And I'm just going to try and fill these lines back in. I might change my brush to like something. So the brushes, there's a hard brush, which is the one I just clicked. This is a hard brush. And then I think like number 1 is a softer brush. So I'll try and, yeah, you can see it's definitely hard. So it'll be easier to like fill in. Make sure you zoom in nice and close so that you don't make any mistakes close on the edges. And that is all. So try and get all those edges nice and clean, remove the tattoos, and change the background color. And have fun!